Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Always.
Okay, so today we're tackling the Smiling Proud Wanderer. Sometimes it's called Xiao.
Ah, a classic.
Yeah, you guys really wanted to hear about this one. Specifically, you asked us to look at the very beginning, the opening chapter. See how it all kicks off.
Right. Get a feel for it.
Exactly. And just to be clear, we're working from a translation here, not the original Chinese.
Of course.
But even in translation, wow, this first chapter, it just grabs you and doesn't let go.
No, it really doesn't. It throws you right into the action, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's like, boom, springtime in Fuzhou, this bustling city, and you immediately sense that something's brewing.
Yeah, Jin Young, the author, he's so good at that, creating this atmosphere where beauty and danger are always right there, together.
Yeah, like on the surface, everything's lively and colorful, but underneath.
Underneath, there's this current of tension, of violence waiting to erupt.
And right in the middle of all this, we're introduced to the Fuwei Security Escort Agency, this family-run business, basically the protectors, the tough guys of their time.
More than tough guys. Think skilled warrior strategists.
Okay, fair enough. But their job was dangerous, right? Protecting merchants, valuable goods as they travel these risky roads.
Absolutely. Escort agencies like this, they were vital in ancient China. Bandits, rival clans, you name it. These guys had to be ready for anything.
So it wasn't just about being strong, you had to be smart, connected.
Resourceful, for sure.
And this brings us to our main character, Lin Pingzi. He's the young son of the agency's head, Lin Zenon. And let's be honest, he's a bit spoiled.
A little bit.
We first meet him out on a hunting trip with his guards, showing off his skills with weapons. It's clear he's used to getting his way.
He is. But this scene, it's not just about showcasing his skill. Jin Young's subtly revealing Lin Pingzi's flaws here.
Oh, like what?
There's this arrogance about him, this naivete that comes with privilege, and that makes him vulnerable, ripe for manipulation in a world like this.
Right, because he doesn't see the real danger. He's blind to it. And that blindness leads him straight to a roadside tavern, seemingly ordinary.
Fateful, maybe?
Yeah. Two strangers arrive, and immediately they're marked as different. Their clothes, their dialect, everything screams outsider.
And in ancient China, those details mattered. Clothing, the way you spoke, it all signaled your place in society.
So by highlighting these differences, Jin Young's telling us these strangers aren't to be messed with.
Exactly. He's setting up a conflict right from the start.
And Lin Pingzi, well, he falls right into it. A fit of anger, maybe a little of that arrogance we were talking about, and he ends up killing one of these strangers.
After they disrespect the tavern owner's granddaughter. Right?
Yeah, so that seems justified in the moment, but...
But in the Wuxia world, actions have consequences. Big consequences.
And he doesn't even realize what he's unleashed.
No. Lin Pingzi might think he's just defending someone's honor, but he's stepped onto a path he doesn't understand. A dangerous path.
So he and his guards, they try to cover it up, but things quickly spiral out of control. Back at the escort agency, guards start turning up dead.
The fear, it just spreads like wildfire.
And then that chilling message arrives. Take 10 steps outside and die.
Classic Jin Young. The tension, the mystery, who's behind it all, what's their motive, can the Lin family survive?
Talk about a page-turner. Lin Zenon, the agency's head, he examines one of the bodies, and he discovers something truly terrifying.
The heart-crushing palm.
Yeah, that horrifying technique.
Yeah.
It tells us a lot about their enemy.
It's not just about brute force. It's about skill, control, ruthlessness.
They're not dealing with ordinary thugs here. These are masters of a deadly art.
Operating from the shadows.
So the Lin family, they make a desperate escape. Disguises, splitting up their forces, fleeing into the night. And there's this heart-wrenching scene. Lin Pingzi wants to fight back, but his parents know it's a battle they can't win.
It's a pivotal moment for him. He has to confront his own limitations, except that survival sometimes means retreat.
It's a hard lesson for someone used to privilege and strength.
Definitely. But it shapes him, changes him.
And then, just when they think they might have a chance, Lin Pingzi runs into the tavern owner's granddaughter again.
That unexpected encounter.
She saves him from these King Sheng disciples, the same group hunting his family, but she leaves his parents to their fate. It's a shocking twist.
It makes you question everything, doesn't it?
Totally. Who is she really? What's her game?
Jin Young's a master at blurring the lines between ally and enemy.
You never know who to trust in this world.
Exactly. Appearances can be deceiving, and in the Wuxia world, that can be deadly.
So we're left with Lin Pingzi, Alone, stripped of everything, facing a world that suddenly turned hostile.
And that's just the first chapter.
I know, right? It's incredible how much Gene Young packs into these opening pages.
He sets the stage for a story that's epic in scope, full of twists and turns you never see coming.
And we've only just scratched the surface. Stay tuned, because we're going to dive even deeper in the next part. So Lin Pingzi is completely alone now. No family, no money, no home. It's a huge fall from the life he knew.
It is. And it's a common theme in wuxia, this stripping away of everything familiar. It forces the character to confront who they really are, deep down.
Yeah. No more safety net. He has to rely on himself.
Exactly. And for Lin Pingzi, it's a harsh wake-up call.
So what does he do?
He sets out for Nanchang. It's a long shot, but there's a branch of the escort agency there. He's hoping, maybe.
Maybe find his parents, or at least some news.
Some sign, some clue. And this journey, it's more than just physical. Imagine the son of a wealthy family reduced to begging for scraps.
It's got to be humbling.
Humbling, yes, but it also brings out that core value, that filial piety.
That duty to his parents.
Right. It's more than just love. It's an obligation that drives him forward.
But when he reaches Nanchang,
disaster. The branch is gone, burned to the ground.
By the Qingcheng disciples.
Most likely. A clear message. Defy us, and this is what happens.
Brutal. But Lin Pingzi, he doesn't give up, does he?
No. He presses on. That desire for revenge, that sliver of hope that his parents might still be alive, it fuels him.
He's definitely not that spoiled kid anymore.
No. He's starting to change, becoming more resourceful, learning to think strategically. He has to, in order to survive.
So where does he go next?
Changsha, another branch of the agency. He's praying for better news there.
But instead,
he finds something even worse. The branch is still standing, but it's been taken over by the Qingcheng disciples.
They didn't destroy it,
They infiltrated it, turned it into their base of operations.
It's like they're rubbing salt in the wound.
Exactly. A psychological tactic meant to bring anyone still loyal to the Fue name.
But Lin Pingzi, he uses this to his advantage.
He does. He disguises himself, sneaks in, starts eavesdropping.
Risky move.
Very. But he's desperate for information. Anything about his parents?
And what does he learn?
More than he bargained for. Not only do they brag about dismantling the Fue agency, but they reveal that the attack was planned all along.
Wait, so Lin Pingzi killing that disciple at the tavern?
It was just a trigger, an excuse. They were already moving against the Fue.
But why? I mean, why go to all this trouble?
They mentioned something called the lineage of the Bixi swordplay.
That's the Fue family's secret martial art, right?
Yes. Their most prized possession. And it seems the Qingcheng faction wanted it all along.
So it wasn't just about revenge. It was about power.
Absolutely. This desire for the Bixi swordplay, it highlights a core theme of wuxia. Martial arts, they're not just about self-defense. They're about control, influence, domination.
And Lin Pingzi, he's caught in the middle of it.
He is, but he's learning. He's starting to see how this world really works.
So does he find out anything about his parents?
He does. He overhears that they're being taken to Mount Hengshan.
Mount Hengshan. Now, that's more than just a mountain in wuxia, right?
Much more. It's home to one of the 5 sacred mountain sects.
Like the elite schools of martial arts.
Exactly. Each sect has its own philosophy, its own style, and they're all vying for power.
Okay, so Mount Hengshan, important place. Why are Lin Pingzi's parents being taken there?
It just so happens that a major event is about to take place. The retirement ceremony of a famous swordsman, Lu Zhengfeng.
Retirement ceremony. That sounds kind of peaceful for the wuxia world.
Don't be fooled. These ceremonies, they attract all the big players. It's a chance to forge alliances, settle scores.
Sounds like a powder keg.
It can be.
Yeah.
And Lin Pingzi, he sees an opportunity. His parents will be there. He knows the location, the time frame, and with all that chaos,
You might have a chance to rescue them.
it's a long shot, but it's all he's got.
But before we get to that, let's back up a bit. Those gifts the disciples found in the coffin, they were for this Lu Zhengfeng, right?
They were another example of the Qingcheng faction's cunning.
What do you mean?
Think about it. They're trying to manipulate Lu Zhengfeng, curry favor with him, using stolen goods.
So it's a power play.
Exactly. They're playing the game just like everyone else. And Lin Pingzi, he's starting to understand this. He's seeing how deeply intertwined martial arts and politics are in this world.
Everyone has an angle.
Always. And survival depends on figuring out what those angles are.
So last we left Lin Pingzi, he was, well, he was in a pretty bad spot.
To put it mildly. humiliated, soaking wet, and locked out of the very place where his parents are being held captive.
Yeah, not exactly a winning situation. But even after that whole foot washing incident, he doesn't give up.
No, he doesn't. And that's what's so remarkable about him. He's lost everything. But that deep-rooted sense of duty to his parents, it keeps him going.
Filial piety, right?
Exactly. It's more than just love. It's an obligation that fuels his every action.
So he waits until the King Cheng disciples fall asleep, sneaks back in, and eventually finds his parents. But then he hesitates.
He's faced with an impossible choice. Escape and save himself, or risk everything to free his parents.
It's a true test of his character.
It is, and this is where we see that internal struggle, that conflict between self-preservation and this profound sense of obligation.
And just when you think he's about to make his move, something totally unexpected happens.
Enter the ugly girl from the tavern.
Wait, hold on. You mean Yu Lingshan, the one who just abandoned his parents?
The very same, except she's not quite what she seems.
That's an understatement. She bursts in with her grandfather, and they start taking down the King Cheng disciples left and right.
Jin Young loves to do this. Turn expectations on their head. You think you have a character figured out, and then bam.
So all this time, she's been a secret martial arts master.
Seems so. Her grandfather, he must trained her in secret.
But why didn't she save Lin Pingxi's parents, if she's so capable?
That's the mystery, isn't it? Her motives are still unclear.
It's frustrating. Is it revenge? Some kind of obligation? Or is there something more to her connection with Lin Pingxi that we don't know yet?
Only time will tell.
So Lin Pingxi is free, but his parents are still prisoners. And now he's got even more questions about Yu Lingshan. What does he do next?
He's injured, alone, but he's not giving up. He sets out on a journey to find his parents, to seek justice. And along the way, he starts to transform.
How so?
He's forced to confront not only external threats, but also his own weaknesses. Remember that scene where he's starving and tempted to steal fruit?
Yeah, but he doesn't, right?
He doesn't. Even in that desperate moment, he clings to his moral code. And that sets him apart from the villains in this story.
They'd steal without a second thought.
Exactly. Lin Pingxi's struggle, it mirrors the larger themes of the novel. The choices we make when faced with adversity, the temptations of power. It's about the battle between good and evil that exists within us all.
Wow. This deep dive has been amazing. We've only covered the first chapter of The Smiling Proud Wanderer, but it's been quite a ride.
It has. And it's just a taste of what's to come. This one chapter, it sets up a world that's rich, complex, full of intrigue and adventure.
And it makes you think about family, duty, the choices we make.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of Jin Young's work and of the wuxia genre as a whole. It's more than just entertainment. It's a way to explore the human condition.
So to wrap things up, let's leave you with this. If you were in Lin Pingxi's shoes, what would you do next? Where would you go? Who would you trust? Think about it.
And maybe, just maybe, those answers will reveal themselves as you continue on this journey with Lin Pingxi.
Happy reading, everyone. And until next time, keep exploring those fascinating worlds. We'll see you on our next deep dive.